Okay. I am the whitest man in serial viewing. Proper blown out tonight. Okay.
Looks like you've applied Vaseline to the lens, Henry.
I'm dreamy. Hang on, let me just...
That actually helped a little.
Did it? It's because I don't know what's going on over in this corner. Everything just like... I don't know.
The camera has astigmatism.
I know how it feels. Right, Jennifer, just move your camera to your left a little bit. Oh, no, don't. Leave it there. Never mind. Ignore that.
No,
I know.
where I want it.
I know. Oh, YouTube.
Just because I was getting some stuff.
Hi. Okay. Right.
Just move the chair slightly so we can see Henry's ass.
No, I'm sat down. Have you not noticed?
I have seen.
I've changed my standing desk into a sitting desk because I'm too
You're
lazy.
feeling lazy today.
Did you want to tell YouTube why?
Because I'm too lazy to stand all day, so I have a stool, and the stool broke my ass.
Wasn't your ass?
Or no, it wasn't my ass. It was my groin.
Your ass.
No, it wasn't my ass. It was my groin.
You should wear underpants.
I do wear. I don't just let them hang over the side of the stool. It was getting really uncomfortable, and I had to sit down.
Getting droop nut.
I've not had any groin issues since I changed. Well, not that groin issue anyway. Okay, right. So that's.
Anyway, I'm gonna press record.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's good.
Where's Reaper?
Ka-chunk.
Kablammo!
Wow!
If you've not seen Dune yet, go watch Dune.
Henry's obsessed with it.
I really am.
He was obsessed with it before it came.
Amazing.
It is. It's amazing. I can't. I don't.
If you haven't watched Dune, read it.
Yeah, read it, then watch it. Although you don't need to. I was quite impressed. Okay, I'm ready. Do we need to clap?
That's what I've heard.
Clap like monkeys. 3, 2, 1. That was.
I don't know if that's anywhere near.
Was almost in sync. Yeah.
Oh, on your end. I need it on my end. Okay. You have to do it because I have to guess.
Well, no, because I clapped before you.
If I say 3, 2, 1, you still clap after me. So you say 3, 2, 1. Go.
3, 2, 1.
There we go.
That was like an hour afterwards.
Yeah, but it's fine on my end.
Okay, here we go. Hello and welcome to the couch. It's time for serial viewing. Hello, fellow serial viewers, Jeremy and Jennifer.
Evening.
Oh, this is the
This is me
introduction.
saying hello. Yes, hello, Jeremy.
Hi.
Is it too early on the couch for you to?
Yes.
Too late.
Episode 33. This time we watched Clangers. The original series ran from 1969 to 1974. 2 seasons, totaling 26 episodes. The series chronicles the funny lives of the Clangers, residents of a nobbly little planet far out in space that speak in a whistled language, which I am sure we will imitate many times throughout this. They eat only green soup supplied by the soup dragon and blue string pudding. The episodes are only 10 minutes long, so we watched 2 this time. We watched Series 1, Episode 1, titled Flying, where Major Clanger builds a flying machine and Tiny Clanger gets stuck at the top of the cave with a balloon. And Series 1, Episode 3, called Chicken. The Clangers build some fireworks, one of which collides with a passing iron chicken. Oh, that old chestnut.
Can I just comment and say that major clanger sounds like a venereal disease? Oh, I've got a case of the major clangers.
You get clangers if you don't wipe enough.
It's a pun.
Really sweaty.
Or a play on
Why, does anyone know why they're called clangers?
I feel like I should, but I don't.
No, Jennifer?
No?
No? Okay. They're called
Klingons?
clangers. They're called clangers because that's the noise that their dustbin lids make when they pull them down over their holes.
Oh, I did know that.
Thought you might. This was Jeremy's choice.
Woo!
Why? Why clangers? It's not the clangers. It's just called clangers. I keep calling it the clangers.
Because
I
he
feel
was
like-
smoking a lot of weed.
I feel like it's a Mandela effect thing because I'm fairly certain I remember the intro being the Clangers with the whole font and everything. I chose it because it's my childhood. I had it on video.
It's your childhood. It came out before I was born.
I know, but we had it on video, and they're just so darn cute. Very,
That's- Yeah.
very British as well. Like very British, old school.
Painfully British.
Clangers, Bagpuss, the whole like the stop motion. What else is there? Well, Bill and Ben, like all those like real puppety stuff.
Well, if you've had the misfortune of never having experienced clangers, it is a stop motion show, which, as I said, follows the clangers. They're small mouse-like creatures. They don't have tails and have weird flat feet.
Mouse elephants, yeah.
Mouse elephants, yeah. And
The shrews.
all of their speech is provided by, I can't remember what it's called, Spawny
The pin whistle.
Pin whistle. Spawny was
Yeah, well, and they've got a bit of a pan flute in there as well, haven't they?
Yeah, that one.
That's what Major does. He's like,
There's different.
The series made by Small Films, a company set up by Oliver Postgate, who was the show's writer, animator, and narrator, and a chap called Peter Firmin, who was its model maker and illustrator. Firmin designed the characters, and Joan Firmin, his wife, knitted and dressed them. The music, often part of the story, was provided by a chap called Vernon Elliott. So, obviously,
Ooh.
I don't need to ask either of you if you've ever heard of this before.
no.
No?
I
Go on then, tell
they're
me-
just
tell me
so
about
darn
your-
cute.
Tell me about your childhood memories with clangers, Jeremy.
Well, they're cute. I don't remember watching them, sticking the video in the.
You had it on VHS.
If you don't know, serial viewing, it was what a video is. And then these like magnetic tapes that you had to rewind manually, or you just press the button, hold it down until it stops rewinding. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I don't remember ever watching a consistent episode, but that's because I think I was very young and they're really quick. They're
Well,
like trapdoor levels of.
They
episode.
are. I think they're slightly longer than Trapdoor, at 10 minutes.
Hmm.
What about you, Jennifer?
Yeah. I think it was standard for any 70s, 80s child.
I think there is going to be. It's another show where if you walked up to anyone, then they're either going to whistle back at you or go the soup dragon.
Amusing.
The soup dragon.
Dragon.
No,
It's so amusing because I can't hear you whistle.
I'm just blowing kisses at the screen.
Yeah.
Is Super Dragon ever? That's Ivor the Engine, isn't it, in the Welsh accent?
Yeah.
There you go. There's another.
That's because he's the green dragon, isn't he, or something?
There is a green dragon.
Yeah,
So
which is very similar.
the soup dragon lives on the planet that they're with,
Hmm.
and he lives underground. It lives underground, and
She.
Oh yeah, she's a maternal.
Yeah.
And she provides food for the clangers. They go to her and they get soup.
Soup.
So she lives in a hole, and whenever they take the lid off, there's this green glow. Now we know the soup is green, so it's the dragon in the soup.
That's what I thought. Or
is
it's
it
just
just-
secreting it.
Is it like that big gross walrus thing in one of the Star Wars movies where it's like squeezing out blue
Oh,
milk?
yeah.
But the dragon's like, sweating out the green soup.
Milking herself.
Swims around it.
Well, I want to know, right? They've got a really small planet,
Yes.
as you said, a nobbly planet.
Mhm.
Why did not one of like it feels like it's a symbiotic relationship between this one species of soup dragon, this one single soup dragon, and this entire colony of clangers. Now, how did they evolve? Did they start on this planet? Did they colonize it? Or if they've like evolved as different species, like one's slightly mammalian, one's slightly reptilian, and then they've evolved. Were there more soup dragons? Did the clangers kill them? Did they take
I think that was
command and they've enslaved the soup dragon?
that was explained in one of the episodes. Unfortunately, it was explained as
Yeah,
So,
that was the
unless you
Great
can-
War.
Yeah, unless you can translate that. I don't know. It originated in a series of books developed from another small films production called Noggin the Nog. Do you remember Noggin the Nog, Jennifer?
Yeah.
I don't. I know the name, but I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Sounds offensive.
Called Noggin and the Moon Mouse, it featured a large mouse-like creature in a duffel coat. In '69, the BBC asked small films to produce a new series, but they didn't specify a storyline. They just kind of gave them free reign. And then Oliver Postgate decided that since space exploration was topical and exciting, he adapted the Moon Mouse by simply removing the tail. And there you go. That's how the Clangers were born.
Noggin the Nog.
They do.
That's the. It's like a crap king, isn't it? It's like a Viking king.
Was he? I
An
don't.
asterisk.
Vicky the
It was a.
Vicky the Viking.
Yeah. It was a bit. Oh. Now I've just thought something and now I can't remember what it is.
I feel like the Clangers bear very striking similar resemblance to the mice in the first Wallace and Gromit. Like in the little noses, the way they go. Do you not remember them?
I don't remember them. I'm
With the sunglasses on.
Oh yeah.
Where he's building the rocket
Yeah,
and they're all
yeah,
watching
yeah.
it.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no, you
And then
mean
Well, they went just before they go to the moon.
yeah, they are a bit like
Sorry,
that.
it's getting Christmassy, so I'm thinking about Wallace and Gromit.
It had a fairly low budget, as evidenced by the fact that they were knitted. I found a wonderful quote from Oliver Postgate, the creator, in his autobiography. And I'll read it to you in full. So, in the beginning was the void, and the void was dark and without form, being 8x5 sheets of battened hardboard painted midnight blue. And on the first day we took a bucket of white emulsion and big floppy brushes, and threw white stairs thereupon, even unto the extremities thereof. And we looked upon it, and saw that it was terrible. And on the second day we painted it out and started again. So you can see it in the opening narration. You see a wonderfully painted planet Earth, and then it pans across the cosmos, and it is obviously a painted piece of words.
I think some of that is a black sheet with Christmas decorations.
I think so. Yeah.
'Cause if you look at some of
Yeah.
the stars, to make them 3D, they look like bits of tinsel.
I agree. I was trying to get a better look at some of those because they are old, so the quality's not great. We watch this on YouTube, by the way, if you'd like to go watch it.
I feel like the with what they did, and it's kind of a playful thing that they do specifically now in a lot of kids' cartoons or kids' shows. They do that whole like it's a self-aware drawing, like it's made in a toy box, like the kids are playing with the stuff. I can't think of a show off the top of my head, but they tend to do it a lot now with a lot of shows. It's just an unintentional version of that. I think it's wholesome.
I think like my second, I don't know if it's voice or if it's the gentle music but the whole thing was just so, it was like a warm hug. The whole thing, it's so gentle. It's so
I
soothing.
did, yeah.
It's like, I did write, if I was any more gentle, I'd fall asleep.
Yeah, I was getting there, and then I wrote down the relaxation this brings me is just therapeutic.
It's that man's voice.
Whereas the narration is very old school, and
Yeah,
also like play-like as well. The theatre.
and it helps as well. I think that all of the noises, every single one of the noises. I don't know if this was a stylistic choice or if they were conscious, and maybe it was like the darkness of space and the emptiness, and it like an echoey thing in space. Every single sound had an echo in it. It went like a 16-note echo, like, and like even every time they whistled, like, and everything, something clanged. It was very.
It
made it sound very big.
I have a very interesting piece of trivia about that, actually. So the sound effects, the score were composed by a chap called Vernon Elliott, under instructions from Oliver Postgate. The episodes were scripted. Most of the music used in the two series was written in translation by Postgate in the form of musical sketches or graphs that he drew for Elliott, who then converted the drawings into a musical score. The music was then recorded by the two of them, along with other musicians who were dubbed the Clangers Ensemble, in a village hall where they would often leave the windows open, leading to the sounds of birds outside being heard on some recordings. Much of the score was performed on Elliott's bassoon, but they also included the harp, clarinet, glockenspiel, and bells. So yeah, you probably got some odd sound effects going on there, since they literally just recorded it in a village hall with the windows open, Arthur the caretaker wandering through halfway through.
Yeah, a big empty room where you get that the sound bouncing off all the walls and like the.
But
I don't know if they did add it afterwards because it was pretty consistent, but
it's. Do you know what? That's so quintessentially English, low budget, and I love it. It's so nice.
Yeah, very wholesome.
But yeah, then booking out the village hall. What's this for? We're recording some music. It's the Clangers Ensemble. Are they doing a play? No, it's about some space mice.
It's a kids show.
We're going to put on a play.
Yeah, and I did when I was in the first episode. They had a major who had like a really low whistle, like whoo whoo whoo. But then they also had like with the music that came in, it was very present and it's very in the front, and it was whenever they were doing an action. And you couldn't quite tell the difference, but now I've gone back. Now I've thought about it. The clangers all have echoes, but the like the actual sounds don't. Like the music doesn't.
Right.
So there is a difference. Like you can tell.
So it's
not quite.
How do you feel about the music? Does it work for you? Is it?
I mean, there's not much to it.
But what?
Like I like the fact that like it separates it, but I feel like they could have done something slightly different to separate it. Maybe break it up a little bit, because it is just in theory, a deeper sounding clanger with a bit of a ding.
Fair enough. So in the major clanger, he's the patriarch of the family. Did you notice that all of the boys were wearing very Roman style brass armor, and then all the girls wore kind of like vests?
Yeah.
I don't know why the girls can't wear armor.
I didn't pick it up. It was girls and boys, but yeah.
Well, yeah, because tiny clanger is a girl, where small clanger is a boy. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so
okay.
What?
I was going to say I thought they were both wearing woolly jumpers.
No.
They both look the same to me, so.
So Moji Clanger builds a flying machine. He kind of flies it around once, then crashes it and gives up. Which I'm not sure that's an appropriate message for you. Yeah, actually, he does that, a typical middle-aged man thing. It didn't work. He tried it once, it didn't work, so he's going to get a strop and go home for tea.
He can go to bed.
Yeah. And then Tiny Clanger steals one of the balloons and gets stuck at the top of the cave and gets upset until they get it down.
Well, Small Clanger has the idea, and they're both on it, and then Small Clanger lets go, and it's Tiny who gets stuck.
Damn you, Small Clanger!
Because at the end,
Small bounces up and
that's it. Brings down Tiny, and then Tiny's very scared, but Small is like really chuffed with himself. That not only did he fly, he saved him, and then he got told off by Mum and Dad. And then they all had a big laugh about it.
And then he beat him with sticks.
There was
the chicken.
After the credits. Yeah, and then in the second one, the clangers are setting off what were real fireworks. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Recordings of fireworks, yeah.
They were impressive. I read it looks like Nan's filming that bonfire night in 2005.
I think it's that episode, or it might be a different one. But one of the episodes, they managed to set fire to the set with a firework.
Wow.
So the Clangers have built some fireworks, and they fire them off, and one shoots down a passing iron chicken,
Yeah.
which kind of wanders around, eats things, gets in the way, lays an egg, and then leaves. Does it take the egg with it?
No, it leaves
No.
it.
Leaves it as a present for Tiny. Eats everything. Goes through a wall.
Yeah.
But we never
Destroys
get to see
the
what's
house.
in the egg.
I think because I think the iron chicken becomes a regular character, or a more. It's seen later more.
Maybe.
So that might be where it come from.
Maybe.
So the whistling. So Postgate, who provided the narration and a lot of the translation for much of the whistled dialogue, he claimed that all of the sounds were based off of actual speech. So they were trying to pattern things. But he also said that in reality, the Clangers were whistling. They were swearing their little heads off.
Yeah.
He also said that when the BBC... So this is an account from Postgate. When the BBC got the script, they rang me up and said, at the beginning of episode 3, when the doors get stuck, Major Clanger says, sod it, the bloody thing's stuck again. Well, you can't say that on children's television, you know. I mean, you just can't. And I said, it's not going to be said, it's going to be whistled. But they just said, but people will know. And I said, no, if they had nice minds, they'd think, oh dear, the silly thing's not working properly. And if you watch the episode, the one where the rocket goes up and shoots down the iron chicken, Major Callinger kicks the door to make it work, and his first words are, sod it, the bloody thing's stuck again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which did make me laugh.
In fact, actually, yeah. Where did
It
I
is
put
brilliant.
That's it. Second, kicking the dodgy door.
Years later,
Yeah.
when the Clangers merchandising took off, the Golden Bear Company, who were creating the merchandising, wanted a clanger and a clanger phrase. So when you squeezed it, it would say the phrase. And they got, sod it, the bloody thing stuck again.
Love it.
In clangerese.
Yeah.
It's
That's brilliant. I feel like I had a clanger growing up.
You didn't.
Do you know what I think I did?
I
No.
feel like I did.
We didn't.
I think it's one of those things that you just kind of assume you had.
Well, that's why I said to watch this episode, because it was on QI that they talked about it.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was a while ago, but they spoke about it, and I just stumbled upon it after doing a bit of clang research last week, and I was like, okay, we have to watch this episode.
The original Mother Clanger model was stolen in 1972 and never recovered.
Perverts.
You can go and see Major Clanger and the replacement Mother Clanger. They are on display at the Rupert Bear Museum if you really want to go and find them. And the Clangers grew in size between the first and last episodes to allow Furman to use an Action Man model figure in the episode The Rock Collector. I think that's the one where an astronaut shows up and they used an Action Man figure, which means they had to make the Clangers significantly bigger.
Are the clangers like waist high?
What? I can't remember. Well,
I might look it up.
do it. You put me off now. Oh yeah. So there was only 26 episodes made for the original run, and it's one of those shows that I swear there were more.
It's always the way.
Yeah. At least double that. There was.
Wow, that's creepy.
What? You haven't found Rule 34 for the Clangers, have you?
No, just the astronaut. He's got a really creepy. Well, he's also got a porn tash.
Of course, it was the 70s.
Yeah. I think, they're just over like waist high on a dude.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I'd scream and hit it with something.
No, I don't know. I would have said they're a bit bigger.
I can't quite tell, but like the proportions from with the Action Man. Anyhow.
Anyway.
In 1974, there was actually a 27th episode aired. It was outside of the thing. It was a 4-minute special created for the general election of that year, titled "Vote for Froglet." Now, the Froglets were creatures that you meet later on in the series who also live on their little moon.
They look a bit like trapdoor plasticine.
Well, it was broadcast on the 10th of October 1974, the actual day of the general election. The narrator explains the democratic process and demonstrates it by asking the Clangers to vote between the Soup Dragon and a Froglet. The Soup Dragon wins the election on a policy of no soup for Froglets, which seems a little harsh.
That is what segregation.
But the Clangers are dissatisfied with the result. I don't know how it turns out. Whether they stage,
and that's how it ends.
Whether they stage a revolution or they overturn the democratic process.
A military coup.
That's such a weird thing to do, though. I mean, I get trying to explain what's going on to children, but the Clangers.
Yeah. I feel like there's a better way we could do it.
When I was listening to these episodes, it's very British to have. This is a kids' TV show for quite young children, and some of the words the narrator used at the beginning are huge, and it's quite complicated. So instead of saying "this is our planet," that's their planet. Some of the words he uses.
Well, that's a good thing. I like that.
No, I like it, but it's very 60s, 70s
yes.
British kids TV. Now they don't even use English words. They make up sounds. The Popolobs. What are they called? Pontypandies.
Oh, what you've got
families.
on? The Ninky Donks
and the Pinky Ponk.
and the Pinky Ponk.
That's
the train in the
Zeppelin.
How did we get onto in the icon?
Wait, what are they called? It's so annoying.
Families?
Yeah.
The Wattingers.
Wattingers.
Oh, they're the blue ones, aren't they?
Can't believe I remembered that.
The red
So it's
ones.
Pottages?
like-
No.
I don't know.
The red ones are like.
And then
the
you got that
tinky,
slut.
Upsy Daisy.
Upsy Daisy.
Constantly flashing her knickers.
the slut.
And then
Macapaca. Macapaca's Macapaca's a G.
Macapaca was great.
Yeah,
Iggle Piggle, the idiot.
No, he's a toddler.
dragging it back to the Clanger.
I'll look it up.
The Postgate has said late after the show was aired that the Clangers, who lived in a vacuum, go figure, they didn't communicate by sound, but rather by a type of nuclear magnetic resonance, which is fairly advanced, and he spent a lot of time thinking about that. It was only translated into the audible whistles for the human audience. The whistles were designed, as I said, the whistle was designed to follow the rhythm and intonation of a scripted English. The series was not widely broadcast outside of the UK in the 1970s due to its low budget. They didn't actually feel the need to sell it abroad because they didn't need the income. It was so cheap they'd paid for itself. But they found that when the series was shown to overseas children, without any narration at all, many of the children felt that the Clangers were speaking their own language. So there you go. The power of imagination for you right there.
Yeah. I see that.
The Pottingers.
The Pontypines.
Pottingers.
No, Wattingers and
Sorry,
Pontypines.
Pontypines and the Wattingers. I just read the two and put them together.
I'm glad.
Sorry, I went down a whole thing where apparently Macapaca is God and then also an FBI agent, and Iggle Piggle's a dying sailor. It got a bit confusing. Anyway, yes. So a different language.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. That's what I assumed it
I like
was
that
before
idea.
I found out.
Yeah,
I mean it is. Of course, it's a different language.
You just impress your own language onto it.
It's like echolocation, like dolphins.
It's nuclear magnetic resonance. I'm not going to explain it to you if you're not intelligent enough to understand it. I'm not going to explain it.
Where did you become an expert in thermonuclear magnetics?
Last night I did the reading. So, did you notice their feet? Could either of you describe their feet to me?
Yeah, aren't they like their hands? They're like little
No.
claws.
Little 3 feet. I don't know.
No, they are literally just.
I didn't see them.
They are flat and black, and stuck at the bottom. To keep the puppets upright in some of the weird positions, and I saw this in one of the episodes. I was looking for it. To keep them upright, they actually tapped tacks through their feet. So little nails through their feet to hold them in place. And if you look closely, you can actually see the nails holding them up. And then occasionally, when they move off, you can see the damage the nails has done to the set, which did make me laugh.
Yeah. Bit grim.
Well, yeah, you will stand there, dog, 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 dog.
Did they not invent blue tack in the 70s?
They probably did, but it's
They didn't want it to be
expensive.
too obvious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they've got like flipper feet.
Yeah, which they
Feet.
nailed them
Feet.
to the set. It did make me laugh when Tiny Clanger was floated up on the balloon and was hanging around at the top of the set. That was because it's all stop motion, so they take an image and then they tie it together. Except for that bit, that was literally just a film of a thing hanging up in the corner. They did say actually that anything flying proved to be a real challenge, and it took them like 3 or 4 times longer to film that because they were all just hung on strings. So they had to wait for whatever it was to stop spinning around and waving so they could take an image of it, and then they move it ever so slightly, wait for it to stop spinning around, take an image of it, move it, spin, wait, image.
So arduous.
Well, they should have put it on a stick or something. There was a bit on the when the Clangers floats up to the ceiling. I could see the string. You could see the string pulling it up and down. It did make me laugh. What cult British television show were they featured in? Jeremy, it used to be one of your favourites.
Cult.
Yeah.
Um.
British cult television show.
Is it going to be Thomas the Tank
No,
Engine?
no.
No?
Nah. Cult. Like, not Red
You
Dwarf.
were a little obsessed with it. You're on the right track. I'll put you out your misery.
What kids show? What
I didn't
cult
say
show?
I did,
British
yeah.
show? No. What British show was I obsessed with? I know I get obsessed with a lot of shows. I can't hear you. You can't hear the whistle.
Doctor Who.
Oh. Wait,
Oh,
when
I
did they-
swear the Clangers have
when did they
been
Doctor
in
Who?
other shows.
The Clangers make
probably
a
have.
brief appearance in the 1972 story The Sea Devil. The Doctor's arch enemy, the Master, is watching them on television, and he thinks they're real creatures and absolutely approves of them, and has to be pointed out by one of his henchmen that it's just a children's television show.
I might have to watch that scene. Wait, 1970 when? That'd be
1972. That's
72.
I don't know who that is.
Do you reckon Matt Groening watched that episode? Because that's very much like the Slurp, the King Swilly watching the TV show in The Simpsons. Not The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Oh, Futurama.
I know what you meant.
I think that's
That's still
John
Matt Groening.
Pertwee era. So that would make sense. It's very early. All right. Anyway.
It just made me laugh even.
Yeah. Wurzel Gummidge connection.
In October 2013, the BBC's CBeebies channel and an American preschool channel called Sprout announced that a new series would be produced for broadcasting in their 2015 schedule, and was. Michael Palin narrated in place of the late Oliver Postgate for the British audience for the BBC, and the American version, who did the majority of the funding for it actually, they had William Shatner narrated.
Of course they did.
Which is amazing.
Oh, I need to see that.
I would have preferred something like Leonard Nimoy.
Do you know, Will Shatner is such a... He'll do anything to get on TV. He'll do it.
That's true.
We've got this sci-fi. I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah. What's it about?
I can't do a Shatner impression, I'm sorry. So would you? I mean, I describe this in my notes as this is so gentle, I'm going to fall asleep in a minute because it is quite calming and. Blah, blah,
But it's
blah.
nice.
It
It's
is
not like
nice.
boring.
I
It's a bit slow, but
so we watched 2 episodes, so that's roughly 20 minutes, probably about 18 minutes in all. And I remember the voices being cute, but they were beginning to grate a little by the time we finished the second episode. I don't think I could have watched
yeah,
another one.
No, Tiny's was quite high
Yes.
pitched.
there were some that were
And I was-
piercing and quite loud.
I was
They're
quite
blowing out
yeah,
they were blowing out the mic.
struggling a little bit with that by the
And
end.
the soup dragon needs to cough.
Yeah.
Cough. It was horrible.
Also, I want to be the guy who got paid a full day's work for making chicken noises.
That's
Mechanical
Postgate.
chicken noises.
Postgate did it, but yeah, it's a good job if you can get
Clangers. Honestly. So go on, Henry.
it. I forgot what I was saying.
Okay. That episode though, like it was an interesting storyline. First of all,
There were some very simple concepts. So
yeah,
in the first one, it was they were started off arguing, but then they were reminded to work together. And then in the chicken one, everybody was pissed at the chicken except
Yeah.
Tiny, who talked to the chicken and explained why they couldn't do
Yeah.
those things, and then was friends with him.
used words.
It. So
Well,
there's some very simple concepts.
my mind started to go a bit in this one, and like I started writing silly things, and I was like, imagine if the narrator just comments, "They hit something, looks like Apollo 13," and then like chicken soup, and then doesn't seem like a fruitful economy if the children are always the ones bringing dinner home, and then. And the chicken's chest opened up and a flamethrower popped out.
And an alien xenomorph popped out.
Yeah. And then Clangers, episode 3, Judgment Day.
No, that's Terminator. I don't know if you'll like this one or not. In 2001, a selection of the music and sound effects was compiled by someone called Johnny Trunk from 128 musical cues that were held by Oliver Postgate, and contracted Act 1, The Iron Chicken and the Music Trees, of a Clangers opera with libretto that he had compiled.
Wow.
So there is a Clangers opera out there somewhere.
I feel like I knew that too. I feel like they'd done a whole musical thing
That does kind
with
of
the Clangers just singing.
That does kind of fall into the category of why. What
Because he loved them.
How
You
bored
can
were
tell
you
he loved them.
in 2001? How bored were you that you felt the need to make a Clangers opera?
Well, yeah. But you can tell that he loved the Clangers. Like this guy, the Clangers was his life. They was his friends.
From a musical point of view, I can understand. I mean, it's quite an interesting music concept, the whole them talking and then making an opera with it.
Well, they
I
hire
understand
enough.
that
Yeah.
was quite cool.
I suppose it is almost like the Peter or the Wolf effect, because they've all got their own tone of whistle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, definitely. Like it, maybe less of a like a traditional opera in the sense, but more of a like you say, Peter and the Wolf, that sort of story where you could just like be a constant musical. So it is kind of operatic because there's no break in the music, but
I think it was just because Oliver Postgate had a controlling interest in a pin whistle company. He's trying to drive up sales.
yeah, he probably did.
Yeah,
He probably did. By your own Clangers post whistle, penny whistle.
Yeah, penny whistle. So would you recommend it? Either of you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jeremy, would you recommend it to your friends? Would this be a sit around and listen to it unironically?
I do want to show them. I didn't get a chance to watch it with them. But I do want to show them.
So
Clangers.
Jeremy has an Italian friend. I'd love to know his opinion. Sit him down and don't warn him. Don't warn him. Just put it on and let it go. I'd be interested to know his
Yes.
opinion. So Jennifer, would you recommend this to parents of a young child?
Yeah. I would just remind them that they watched it, wouldn't it? And then
Yeah,
they would
I
go,
think so.
"Oh yeah, that would be brilliant. Let's show that."
Is that the one that goes? And I bet
Yep.
they say soup dragon with a Welsh accent as well.
That's it. It's the soup dragon. Now, yeah. But like you say, it's either the engine.
It is over there. It's
It has the Welsh accent,
the Green Dragon.
not this.
That's the Mandela effect again. I think this affects this a lot. Yeah.
I remember being obsessed with Ivor the Engine when I was younger, but the only thing I can remember about it is the Green Dragon and the noise of the train. Oh, what's this got to do with the clangers?
We'll cover it at some point. I'm
Ivor
sure.
the Engine, yes, but we are actually exciting news, serial viewers. We've put together the list for our next season already. So we've chosen our shows. Yes, Rosie, Chorlton and the Wheelies will be in it.
Yay.
So, any last thoughts on clangers before we move on?
I want one.
You want a clanger? What, a real one?
Yeah. He'd be my mate.
I think it'd just be a nightmare.
Yeah, my ears bleed, maybe.
Yeah, you know.
Imagine that, like... No, I don't need them. I don't need my ears.
You're a musician, mind you. Evelyn Glenn is made millions.
Do you reckon if you squeeze the clanger really hard, it go...
Swallow his own whistle.
Yeah.
I think you'd end up with clanger milk.
I know.
to be honest.
And you give him the Heimlich,
milk.
and he just goes, and it just comes out, and he's just like, "Oh, I've been trying to get rid of that thing for years."
Thank the fuck no.
Oh God. Oh. It's like Wheezy from Toy Story.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Susan, who contacted us on Facebook to tell us that our Biker Grove episode was terrible. And we got lots wrong, but she didn't actually explain what we got wrong. So thank you, Susan, for interacting with us in that way.
Mm-hmm.
It must have been bad because she felt the need to immediately jump on Facebook and tell us. So thank you for that. Thank you, Susan.
Again, I apologise to Newcastle and the Greater North.
I'm not convinced she even got that far.
No.
So ratings. Jeremy. Rate clangers out of 10, please.
It doesn't work. Discord cuts it off.
You're whistling.
Yeah. I whistled an 8.
An 8?
Yes, because I love the clangers.
Good lord.
There's nothing wrong with the clangers. It's gentle, but not in a bad way. Okay, yeah, I can see how the noise does get a bit grating, but don't watch 4 episodes in a row when it's the clangers. It's not.
Or turn it down.
Yeah.
What about you, Jennifer?
I'm going to go for an 8 as well. I love the clangers. They're
Spicy.
cute. And the little soup dragon. She was like their mum.
Mm.
She looked after
Or the
them.
dealer.
Yeah, the dealer. Yeah, because they ate other stuff like blue spaghetti.
Well, I don't know. Why can't the chicken eat the copper trees? Does it use to make the soup, or is that like they're growing like copper drugs or?
Yeah, I think the copper trees offer the soup dragon.
I think so.
I don't know.
They were around the
one
same
of them. I think the first one they pick something off the copper trees, like a flower, and she takes it and then gives them back the soup dragon. The soup.
Oh, it's like
Not the
tokens.
soup dragon. I don't know.
She's just forced this weird capitalist dynamic on them, just so
Yeah.
she can keep them addicted to her soup.
Yeah. Yeah, she never. You notice she never drinks the soup herself. Never tastes the
It's
product.
because she lives in it. It's disgusting.
To her own. So, oh, spell Delphine. Soda and bath
You guys are gross. It's just
Hey,
in the
I'm
bottom
not
of
the one who did it.
cave that she's in as well. She's swimming in it.
The cave is 1 square meter.
She just done it.
Yeah.
I've completely. Oh, I gave it a 5 because.
Yeah.
You're
Higher
a
than I thought you were
little
gonna give it.
arsehole.
I mean, it was very comfortable. 5's quite high for me. It was very comforting. It was nice, but it wasn't very. It wasn't what I wanted. It's not exciting enough. And I was
What
getting.
did we do last?
I was getting.
And a robot chicken.
I was getting annoyed with their voices. I'm sorry.
Tiny nearly died up against that roof of the
She
cliff.
was never in
cave.
any threat.
Yeah,
So
there's
that
no
gives it-
gravity.
Hey, look,
on-
be happy. That gives an overall rating of a 7, which is
Hey,
uncanny. I would have never.
brilliant.
That's put it into the top 10 easily.
What did we do last?
Good.
Uh,
Last week
Baba.
was Baba.
Oh yeah, Baba. That's
Baba
right.
got a
Didn't you
4.
rate Baba
Baba.
higher than a 5?
Baba.
Got a 4.5, so unlikely.
Wow.
Baba.
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 So yes, that was Clangers. There's not really a great deal to say about the Clangers. They
Okay.
are small.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So if the Clangers got in a spaceship and landed in Celesteville, what would happen? Would they be welcome, or would they start this weird revolution? Would they go full like American on it and try and nuke them?
The rhinos would try and use them to get some sort of political advantage over the empire, the elephant empire, whereas
Yeah.
King Baba would talk it out with them.
Probably.
He
Would
would
he be
see
like,
them as
"Hello,
distant
my small
relatives.
friend"?
Although they do
cousins?"
look like
Yeah.
mice, and elephants are famously scared
That's-
of mice, so they may just
Yeah.
trample them.
But I
Emotional
think they look
war.
like pink elephants.
They
So-
look like little shrews to me, so they have like the little snoots, but they're still nice.
So the elephants could just see them as disgusting mutants, and yeah, they go interstellar war.
This is
Dragon
Baba.
comes
He would just
down.
see them different colours.
They fought a war. There was a war in Baba.
Yeah. Soup Dragon comes down and just like covers the whole town in like burning soup.
No, that's it. That's what happens. Is the Clangers show up and they start dealing green soup to all the elephants.
Yeah.
So Baba
the-
Baba has to clamp down to stop the import of illegal green soup.
The green lettuce.
Yeah, have some dragon oozings.
Dragon ooze. Dragon squeezings.
So there you go. Serial Viewing recommends the Clangers. Sorry, Clangers.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Join us next week. Actually, no. Before we do that, we are putting together the list for our next series, which is a few episodes away, but we like to get prep early. If there is anything you want us to cover, any children's shows, any particular favourites, please let us know, and we'll definitely see if we can fit them
Butcher
into-
your favourite shows
We will.
growing up as a child.
It will be terrible, as that one person on
Yep.
Facebook said. Yeah, let us know, please. We will. If you suggest it, we will probably cover it. You can contact us via Facebook, like Susan did. You can get in touch with us Instagram. You can go to our website. You can send us. We've got a contact form on the website. You can leave us a voicemail. As I keep saying, if you leave a voicemail, you will get played on the show. Jeremy will have the wonderful job of editing you into the show.
And I won't put any funny effects or edit your voice in any way.
Perp perp sounds at the end of it. Or you
A
can just
bit
email
crazy.
us, serialviewing@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. So episode 34, I didn't know this existed in cartoon form, and having seen the source material, it surprised me slightly. We are watching Conan and the Young Warriors. You know,
Yep.
Conan, the half-naked barbarian that like butchers people. There's blood everywhere. Has sex with witches and cuts the head off a snake. That real child-friendly Conan the Barbarian.
It's gonna be a Jace all over again, isn't it?
It's going to be interesting.
It's gonna be hair metal. There's gonna be Arnold Schwarzenegger as a cartoon.
Get to the sword. So please join us for that one. Thank you, Jeremy.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Jennifer.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, but my recording's picking up. I think. Hang on. Yeah, I've got waveforms and everything. Anyway, so thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, viewers. We'll see you on the couch next time for Conan and the Young Warriors. Bye.
Bye.
And we're good. You can stop your audio recording.
Such a short ending.
Now, the camera froze again quite early, and it looks like Jenny's been sat staring at her phone for the last 45 minutes.
I am loud. Crap.
Fix it in post. It'll be fine.
Oh, I don't know if I can. That's pretty intense. Turn myself down.
That was another one where I found myself running out of things to say. I mean, I've got all the trivia.
I didn't.
But there's not a lot to say about the Clangers, really.
I thought that was a fairly decent episode. There was not a great deal to say, but I think it was like the Clangers as a show. It was wholesome.
Well,
Oh,
after Biker
this is
Grove,
the after
we
show,
do-
right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I've already stopped my audio.
So, you still think Biker Grove's our best?
I think Biker Grove is our best and most offensive episode, yes.
Yes.
Susan didn't
followed by
like it.
Fireman Sam. I feel like we were more offensive in Fireman Sam, Henry.
I don't think it's that we were offensive. I think she thinks that we got things wrong.
Yeah. Did we?
I don't know. I took
Maybe.
the trivia off the usual places I took the trivia off. I would have loved if
Pornhub.
just that one time.
And Deck the best years.
I don't. Do you know the ubiquitous of Ant and Dec? I mean, they are everywhere over British media. I opened up a web page for what I was doing. I was work or something, and there was a news article on there, and it was somebody talking to Ant or Dec. I can't remember the term. And instead of reading, I immediately saw his name, and instead of taking any interest, I just went, "Ugh, I don't care."
No, really don't. Don't understand the general public's fascination with them, but hey ho, you can like who you like.
Get it?
Yeah.
So
You like Ant and Dec, I like the Clangers. They're better.
and the Clangers would absolutely win in a fight.
Yep, 100%. Little savages.
I think Conan and the Young Warriors is going to be interesting because it's from a period in time where they were literally like throwing everything at the wall to see what would stick with regards to children's television. So they're pulling from franchises that shouldn't have been marketed to children. No child should have watched the source material, but they did.
Very similar to Chuck Norris, I think it's going to be.
Well, Chuck Norris Chuck Norris had wholesome aims, but it comes from that crop. So you've got Conan and the Young Warriors. Off the top of my head, you've also got the RoboCop children's TV show.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you've seen the RoboCop movie, that's not for kids.
Didn't this whole thing come about where they had the RoboCop TV show and then a bunch of the kids, like when the RoboCop came out to video or whatever, they watched it and they were scarred for life because they'd seen like how disgusting RoboCop, like how gruesome it is. It's really grim film.
I mean,
not for kids.
Somebody melts. You've got the existential crisis of a man like waking up and he's just a brain in a jar. Some guy gets shot in the dick.
Some guy gets completely obliterated by bullets.
Yeah, but it's like, and Conan. I mean, we probably shouldn't talk about this too much now, but Conan, people dying left, right, and centre. A couple of sex scenes, some rapes, cannibalism.
Yeah. And now I'm fairly certain I watched Conan for as just before the movie, but I don't really remember it. I remember bits of it, so I might have to watch the movie as well.
Conan the Barbarian is the first one and is a great movie. And then
They made more?
Yeah, there's Conan the Barbarian and then Conan the Destroyer, which is a bit more high fantasy-ish. And then they made Red Sonja, which is in the same universe as Conan. And Arnie was in it, but he wasn't Conan.
Right. He wasn't Conan.
He wasn't Conan. Not in Red Sonja, no.
That's
he was Prince Austrian. I can't remember his name.
Prince Esteban.
But anyway, yeah, as a big fan of the Conan movie, and I've read some of the Conan comics, I've never read a Conan novel. Not sure I could stick through that.
Isn't Conan so cheesy it's good?
Conan is a really good example of early 80s hack and slash fantasy film where they didn't have a great budget.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Western, but with swords and sandals.
Less refined than Highlander. Like,
I don't know.
well, I mean, Highlander is like.
But yeah, anyway. Do you want,
Anyway,
I think
we
it's
should
gonna,
talk about it.
Yes, we should talk about that next week. I'm interested to see where they go with it. I think it's going to be a typical. We'll have a little chat at the end. So, kids, if you're a barbarian and you've just cut the heads off, you should share all your wealth with.
It's going to be Thundercats, but Arnie.
Thunder. So, as I said, we've started putting together the list for our next episode, which and we've actually got all 12 episodes. I forgot what I was going with that. Oh yeah, but so if you want us to do something, we can shuffle things around. We can push things out. It's not set in stone. That'd be exciting. We should rate it, really, should we?
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting
Yes.
I forgot about that. Go on then, Jeremy. Rate the theme.
for. 4.
Out of 100.
There isn't one.
Well, it's not. It's the opening credits. It's the score. It's the music. It's.
Well, if it's just a theme, then there's a 4.
It's
If
however.
there's the music as well, then 12.
So you're giving it a 12.
Because it's not that like it does what it's supposed to do, but it kind of annoying the fact that it used the same nearly the same family of instruments that he made all of the sound effects with. So
You're not allowed to diss the Clangers ensemble. Okay, so 12 from Jeremy. I'm going to give it a 31 because I really like that opening narration, and I like the effort.
Well-
I like the effort they put into like explaining what the pans across, and they put some effort into the planet. I mean, it's a wonderful planet painting of the planet Earth, and I like it.
are they supposed to be on the moon?
No,
Just an asteroid.
they're nowhere near Earth. They're off out into deep space.
Okay.
So 31 from me. Jennifer.
I agree. 39.
For the same reasons.
Yeah, same as I love the narration
Mm.
and that kind of the feel and the music.
So that gives it a 27 overall. It's you, Jeremy. You dragged the average down.
I didn't know we were going on about the narration.
Well, that's the opening credits, isn't it? That's the opening.
Yeah.
No, you chose your number. You dial now. Weirdness.
It's got to be up there.
Jennifer.
55. It is pretty freaking weird.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you took the fact that there's some little pink mice elephants that live on a planet, have a soup dragon.
That's swearing all the time.
If you took that
putting
out,
whiskey.
but if you add the fact that they
Got
talk and whistle, yeah, so it's a little bit. It's definitely a little bit weird.
So I've just redone my score up to 40 because I have a tendency to agree with you. There is a soup dragon that wallows it gives its own excretions to eat, and they nail their feet to the floor. So yeah, I give it a 40. Jeremy.
75.
75. Good lord.
There was a robot chicken that came out of nowhere and gave them its egg and ate all their soup
Broke through
And
the wall.
they swore at the door. they had a soup dragon that was definitely a dealer of some description.
I did give you some extra points. For
Weird
the fact that
symbiotic relationship.
I gave you some extra
Yeah,
points for the fact that they're always swearing.
Yeah, always swearing. They communicate in whistles. That is swearing. The asteroid that I know we didn't cover it in this episode, but the astronaut is definitely done some porn filming in his life, some adult films in his life.
And the whole swearing thing, that's canon. That's from the actual creator himself has said that is the case.
Exactly. And the election episode that you told me about. That's weird.
So you're giving it 75, yeah?
Yeah.
So average hours scores together, that gives it a 57 for weirdness, which is quite high.
Yeah.
Education value. What did we learn anything from the Clangers? Sorry, Clangers? Just Clangers?
Did you?
Yeah, I mentioned it in the episode. So in the first episode, there's working together to get the job done. In the second episode, there's understanding different people,
Conflict resolution.
different conflict. Instead of being angry, try to talk it out.
Well, yeah. There's always a reason, like they just the chicken needed to lay an egg, so
They
that's
did
why
shoot it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah, but don't be irresponsible with fireworks. Yeah, that's good. I think the one as well when they laughed about the incident as well at the end of the first one, which I thought was quite good. Better than Baba punching a trunk. I think laughing about it, and it's all right at the end of the day. But that might be a cultural difference.
So what?
It's very English to be like.
I still need your scores.
For education, 45.
Okay.
Oh,
I gave it a 19.
I was gonna say 44.
You still can? Are you going? I'm being the dissenting voice here this week, aren't I?
No, 44. Yeah, 44.
44.
Yeah, you didn't like it as much as us, but you never do.
I never do. That's because I'm grumpy. That gives it an overall rating of 36 for education. And impact. Jeremy. That will give me time to try and figure out what my score is going to be.
Well, it impacted me. I always remember the Clangers, even though I always thought it was spelled with a K. They're great. I love them. Now, they haven't had the biggest cultural impact in the world, but they have in... Well, they obviously did for American studios to buy it out, or at the very least reproduce it.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. It's really creative as well. It's a really creative concept. That's what I like about it, is in the fact that it is a creative concept in the way that they communicate through whistling, not just like gibberish, and they're actually saying stuff. And like the narrator's not always like, oh, like this clanger says this and this clanger says this. He's like, oh, they're gonna go do this. Like that's what. Of course they are. He's a bit more. So I say I like the Clangers, so I'm going to give it for overall impact a 65.
Good Lord, 65. Well, I gave it a 25.
Dick.
No, hang on. On the basis that it hasn't had a big impact on my life. I don't wear Clanger t-shirts and collect Clanger memorabilia.
You remember them, though.
But, well, that's it. That's why it got a 25. If somebody walked up to you and did the whole... I would go back at them. And then the soup dragon in the wrong accent.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm giving it a 25.
Henry, you should start answering these like would you realistically pay money for a t-shirt of any of the shows?
That's quite a good idea, actually.
Yeah. Like Trapdoor, would you pay money for a Trapdoor t-shirt? Yes.
Absolutely.
Would you pay money for a Wurzel Gummidge t-shirt?
I would pay money if someone burnt the t-shirt.
Yeah. Would you pay money for a Clangers t-shirt?
No.
No. It's not your thing.
No.
I don't know. I think I would.
Samurai.
Yeah,
if anyone wants to give me a Samurai Pizza Cat hoodie, I'm
Yeah.
I'm there. Jennifer, impact.
I thought I already said.
No, you didn't give.
Isn't that 45?
No, that was
What was that
education.
for?
That was for education.
No, what was the last thing we did?
Education.
Wasn't education.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing.
I thought we did education first.
No, that was theme.
No, that was theme.
Oh,
Same
God,
format
you
as
still
always.
jibber jabbing. Impact. 39.
What, you said you buy a t-shirt of it?
That's why I got a 39. I should pay £39.
Got to
for
be
it.
at least a 50.
Don't harass other hosts about their scores.
Come on.
So 30,
Well,
you
it's
stand.
finals.
You standing with a 39.
No, I can have 46.
Yay!
Don't be browbeat.
No, Jeremy's right, and you're right.
Yeah.
It is quite impactful. Fight any British child.
So that gives it a 45 for impact, a 36 for education, 57 for weirdness, and a 27 for theme. That's not bad across the board. Do you agree with this?
I think if it has the impact to touch any British child, then it
Can
should
the
get at
clangers not
least
touch
50.
British children, please?
Should get at least 50 because Britain is the best country in the world. Not really.
So, have you not pissed anyone off recently?
Yeah, no, I feel like I got to get it in there somehow.
Jeremy's controversial corner.
So you should have that as a segment. It's gonna offend absolutely everybody.
Yeah, we'll just okay. And time we go. Jeremy's controversial corner. Arse.
Yeah.
That's it. We'll move on. Well, thank you
Go
guys.
fuck yourself.
I have. I've got nothing else to say about the clangers. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad I never have to watch them again.
Aww, I feel like you're being deliberately polar opposite.
No, I was just not interested. It's too gentle. It's too nice.
You started out fine. You were like, "Oh, this is the best one. This is so
I
sweet."
did say
and
it was so
hot, sweet,
comforting,
Sweet.
but it wore out its welcome quite quickly.
Mm.
And the implied sexism that the girls don't get armor; they just get waistcoats.
Yeah, but they provide for the men.
Exactly. Misogyny.
Yeah, but she seems to be holding down a stable career just by her own self. She doesn't need no man to bake her soup.
To anyone? No, she sends the kids to go get it.
No, the soup dragon.
I see what you mean. All right.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right,
and the
guys.
chicken.
Yeah,
Those strong female characters
hang on,
in
no.
this.
Yeah, but you've got like the chicken just abandoned its child and fled off so it could do space drugs.
How many times do chickens have? You're assuming there was a boy chicken. Could just be an egg.
Actually, that's a good point because that egg was like, if it crapped out that egg, where were all its guts and everything? Because that egg was probably the same size as its torso.
Yeah. That's just a regular old metal chicken period.
Anyway,
Anyway.
thank you, YouTube, for hanging around. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Jennifer.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna play the 5-second goodbye tune as well because it's only 5 seconds long. Thank you guys. Appreciate you sticking with us for the after show, and we will see you for Conan and the Young Warriors.
Bye.